allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Recognition of visitors and delegations. Anyone wish, Mr. White?
Yeah.
Speak, please.
Hi, my name is Ed Whiter, and I'm a taxpayer of the town of New Hartford and the school district of New Hartford. I'd like to present a letter dated August 4th, 2015, authored by Anthony G. Halleck. I believe he's a school board attorney, at the request of Robert Mills, superintendent, concerning my FOIL request of start initiated in June of 2015. I just would like to ask the board to review this letter, and this taxpayer would like to know how much money we are paying Mr. Halleck for writing a letter which need to be written because it contains inconsistencies as to the request. And also, I find it hard to believe that the school board would retain an attorney such as Mr. Halleck to make such charges in letter to a taxpaying citizen that I think I know the law better than he does. And obviously, when the school board can't, I shouldn't say, excuse me, not the school board, a school district official cannot present even a portion of the records requested for the last 2 months. I find this incredulous, but I would ask that the board take this letter, I don't know who I handed it to, Paul to you. And I request an investigation as to, one, the laxness of the responsiveness to the FOIL request, either in whole or in part, and also, I would ask the board to find out through their committees, how much are we paying Mr. Halleck? How much has he expended of taxpayers' dollars? Because it's one of those situations where we pay a lawyer $150, $200 an hour. That's more than what he even, he would ask, he gets more in fees than it takes to process these requests. And I take offense to that as a taxpayer. That's it on that one here, but just another point regarding your agenda tonight. I did notice that on page 5, paragraph 7, you've got in paragraph, excuse me, page, what's going on here? Oh, no, I'm sorry, 5 and 6, I apologize. There's 2 resolutions being presented to the board tonight, and they lack some information here. Paragraph G on page 5 says, have you met and conferred? I wish the board could be a little more explicit as to when this meeting took place. Also, they failed to include a copy of the previous agreement, the amended agreement, and there's made reference to on page 6 a service stipend benefit. No, excuse me, on page 5, a service stipend benefit. And 2, on page 6, I think this relates to Ms. Mandel, the business assistant superintendent for business affairs. There's an attachment A, and we don't find any attachment A to this agenda here. And I think it's important, and the board is obligated to have make available, as long as it's being discussed at this meeting this evening, any attachments there too. So there are none, and the taxpayers have a right to know what is it that their board is voting on tonight, because it seems to be more perks are going out at whose expense. So I think the board, before they even vote on this tonight, they have a legal obligation to make these documents available to the general public before the board can even act on them. Thank you very much.
First things first, your reference to Mr. Halleck. Take this letter first.
Yes, sir.
I have not had time to read through it, nor has any other board member, since you only have one copy.
I didn't think so, Paul.
Your one reference about the charges he may charge per hour being more than whatever it is that you're asking for.
Mm-hmm.
Your volumes of information that you're requesting have to be made into PDF form. Takes a long time. Have to be redacted. Emails have to be redacted. If my email to someone is both personal and business, it's got to be redacted. All of that's taking time. And I don't think that, I do think that he's looking out for the best interest of the district and working in with the administration, and he's looking out for Mrs. Mandel, Mrs. Heil, and Mr. Knoll, and us, so that we don't hand over anything that is private.
Understood. I agree with you 100%. But what I do take issue with is the fact that with regard to the items, as you're saying, redacted, and I understand that portion, you're right on point, absolutely. But there are issues as far as emails, depending upon the type of exemption the board may claim, they must spell that out with a degree of information that would allow for such an exemption to take place. But what I'm saying here to the board president is that the records being requested, even a show of good faith, 3 documents, 4 documents. I have not received 1 document since my initial request. I understand the need for privacy. I also understand the need for, especially when it relates to children. But there is a fine line to be drawn when it comes to requesting documents and what appears to be a holding back. Now, I'm not alleging that at this time, but I do take issue with the school board's attorney making a comment. That was my perception, not what he referred to. And he and I have sparred in the past, and we've proved him wrong 100%. But the point is, I would like to know as a taxpayer, how much is the school board and school district investing in this man to write a letter or letters, and where it comes to, let's say you have a bill from him for $5,000, and this could have been resolved for a modicum of time and effort. That's all I'm saying, Mr. President.
Mr. Halleck is not here. I believe when you started, you indicated at the request of Mr. Knoll. That is not included in that letter, so I don't know where you made that assumption. And secondly, Mr. Halleck is advising us based on you indicating in a letter to the district clerk that that's incorrect. And earlier you just said that you proved Mr. Halleck wrong 100%. He's not here to defend himself as well. So we are following up with your requests in the order that they came in, and we will continue to do so.
Well, I would only, in defense of your statement, Superintendent Knoll, you will recall a prior letter authored by Mr. Halleck where he said concerned citizens would be required to hand over $750 or $1,000 for simple board minutes, which in effect the state has put forth. If they are available electronically, there will be no charge. So Mr. Halleck was adding hype to a letter that had no bearing whatsoever on the statute itself. So that was a wrongful interpretation. And in fairness to the school.
I'm not in receipt of that right now, nor is it on the agenda.
Well,
So
it's not on, but my complaint is as far as his letter. That's all I'm going forward. Thank you very much.
As far as your second item, you really confused me, I'm sorry, because you went back and forth between page 5 and 6. You start over again with page 5.
What it is, I read, I apologize, I thought page 5 was 6, and I believe it's on page 5, it says paragraph 7G, and there was a comment here made, having met and conferred. My question as a taxpayer, when was this meeting that, having met the parties meeting, what date? Also, it is customary to include any amendments or revisions, a copy of the previous agreement, the amended agreement, which is not included, the service stipend benefit. It hasn't been clearly defined. What is this service stipend benefit? And also, too, on page 6, it's paragraph H, there's a reference to an exhibit. It says, annexed hereto as Exhibit A, thereby canceling the remaining term of the existing agreement. Once again, I've only asked, or make the board aware, that what I'm looking for and what the taxpayer should have attached to this is a copy of the previous agreement, the amended agreement. Is there in fact a service stipend benefit? What specifically does Schedule A include? For a taxpayer not to have this information, and yet the board is discussing this in open meeting, that can be challenged. And everything that goes on with regard to those items not being made available to the public, they would have to then come back. In fact, there's
Chelsea, we can make copies of this and provide it. Okay, so we'll do that right now.
well, I mean, what I've been saying all along, Superintendent Knoll, is that these items, everything that's on here must be made available. And they must be made in advance, not just the day of.
They are online.
They are online.
They are online.
Okay.
So we are in compliance. This is not online, so we will provide it to you right now. Okay? Thank you.
You're not giving the people a fair chance to look at this. That's all I'm saying.
I wasn't aware that it wasn't online. They will be placed online, they will be attached to minutes that are online, and they will also be provided to you right now.
I will add just this one comment, I'm going to stay quiet. What you've effectively done, though, is that, yes, I thank you for a copy of this. However, thank you, a copy of this. However, it doesn't give myself time and my colleagues time to review these records to specifically address this before the board and possibly ask questions. I shouldn't say ask questions, voice our concerns. That's all I'm saying. Thank you very much.
And along those exact lines, then this letter should have been sent to myself and Mr. Knoll prior to this meeting. Right.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree, Mr. President. I absolutely agree.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Approval of minutes of the annual reorganization meeting of 7/7/15. Discussion, I'm going to be leading discussion, so I have to back up a little bit. I have to excuse Mrs. Phillips. I'm looking at number 5A, where we did the voting, the president of the board, and then eventually we did the voting for the vice president of the board. Because there was some concern about the way that we voted according to parliamentary procedure, the next day I called NISBA and talked to Barry Entwistle, who was administrative assistant. He did not have the answer, he wasn't comfortable in giving me an answer. So the next day, he set me up with a phone conference with himself, Mr. Jay Verona, who ran the parliamentary procedure webinar, if anybody watched that. And we had a discussion on the way we did it and the way that we can work on this. The way we did it was okay, because Mrs. Heil, as we voted, wrote down who had the yeas and nays. But we should be taking a roll call vote for the record. So we need to take a roll call vote for the record, and me first, because I was presented first. It is not a new vote. And then subsequently, he said that once I was voted in by 6-0-1, there was no need to vote on the second nomination of Mr. Flemma, because it was a moot point at that point there. And it would have been the same thing, we should be doing the same thing for the vice president as well for the schools.
My understanding is the minutes do reflect who voted no, and the minutes will be amended to reflect the roll call.
Correct. Yes.
Discussion.
Any other discussion?
So, clarification, under Mr. Petrowski as president, we will record all the members that were present as yes by name, and we will record Mr. Flemma as voting no in a roll call situation.
Well, no, I believe he abstained.
Abstention, I'm sorry, it was abstention, abstention.
The vote count's okay, and I did, during that time, the only thing that's not here is, because of the confusion, I went ahead and just conceded to that. You know what I mean, so if there wasn't a question about the deal, I just want to remember that. And
So
I
this is
conceded
how
to
the
it.
minutes will reflect that, this discussion, so I just want to make sure.
That just lists each board member's name and their vote.
Because it can be insinuated right from the minutes.
Yeah, I think it's okay the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll actually record it this way now, just to make it.
You wanna see this?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And we'll still record the one that was a moot point because we acted on it, nobody pulled
Right,
the
correct.
recommendation second, so we'll provide that we did not have to vote on those, but because we did, we'll record it.
Yep, it stays in minutes.
Thank you.
Any other discussion on the reorg minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 6-0. Regular business meeting minutes, 7/17, 7/7/50. Any discussion? A motion, sorry.
Second?
Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 6-0. Correspondence and communications.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Petrowski. First, I have for you a calendar for the 2015-2016 Legislative Committee of the School Boards Institute. It looks like they are meeting almost monthly, leading right up to the New York State School Boards Association Capital Conference that's held in March that Mr. Plum attended. So I'll pass that agenda around for you.
And just I've told this board regarding this, subsequent to my visit to Albany, that the guys at BOS has invited me to be on that committee, so I'll be attending these meetings. Okay?
Yeah, thank you for asking.
Also.
No, it's not an it's not as a board member, it's just to be honest, I'm not gonna be on that committee as a board member, like a New Hartford board member, just on the committee. I don't represent New Hartford.
Who do you represent?
I just help them make decisions on going forward with their legislative process.
I believe in order to sit on that committee, Tri-County School Boards Association Committee, you have to be a city representative of the school board, of a school board. I don't believe they.
Okay, but I don't represent the school board
Right,
on the
but you
committee.
are a representative of the school board and the sit there, so you are. Okay. You can ask that question, but I believe you are. I don't believe anybody
Just have to
sitting on that
represent it.
committee is not a school board member.
Okay, all right.
You can ask for clarification. I also have for you an agenda on Thursday, September 17th, by your Tri-County School Boards Association. Regent Botar will be visiting the area and speaking at that session. And then lastly, I have your general membership meetings for 2015-2016 school year for school boards institute. The topics usually are the same at the same time of year. It's cyclical, but I'll pass that around. And then we also pass out sign-up sheets each and every time.
Where can we find in advance, get a copy of this, I guess, so we know in advance?
We can make copies of it for you.
Just to see the whole agenda, yeah, get copies of these.
Well, the agenda, when they actually hold it, we pass it around at this meeting in the correspondence communication to sign up for it. This is just for you to look at what dates they are.
What's coming ahead, yeah.
And we'll
well,
provide it to you, but we'll scan it in and send it to you. by email as well.
Yeah, okay. I just wanna see what's coming ahead, so
Sure.
it's not, so
Yeah, we'll
here's
do
the
that
one coming up
ahead
next
of
week.
time. Okay. Okay, that concludes correspondence communication. Thank you.
Thank you. Board committee reports, Budget and Finance Committee of 8/11.
All right, we called the meeting to order at 4:10. We reviewed the tax levy, fund balance, and the tax warrant, which will be put forward for approval this evening. After inputting the final EQ rates and the assessments for all 4 towns, we continue to apply 1.177 million of unreserved balance, to the 2015-16 revenue budget, and then levy the taxes in the amount of $33,799,636, which is consistent with the communications to voters. It's actually, the tax, increase in the tax rate is a skosh less, because the town assessment came in a little bit higher. So the increase in the tax rate is 2.5% for the town of New Hartford. We recommend that the tax warrant be, presented to the board this evening. We have the proposed Budget and Finance Committee and Audit Committee calendar for 15-16 year. You received, we made some changes to that. You should have received this evening the final calendar for the Budget and Finance and Audit Committee. So you're all welcome to attend any of those meetings if you like. We got an update on the tax certiorieries, and we adjourned at 12:25. Did I say Scotia?
She said it's good.
Oh, it's a Scotia, yeah, it was, tax certiorari. I believe that's a tax certiorari. Okay. Anything else? Any questions on that? Okay. Here we have it. Here's the final calendar.
Okay, back to this, are we supposed to be signing up, do you want us to sign up on this, or is this September
Well,
17th?
Regent Botar,
Yes.
you're interested? Sure.
I saw him.
It's open to all of you.
Okay, number 7, personnel resignations. A, physical education teacher.
It is recommended that the resignation of Peter Alvanos from the position of physical education teacher be accepted effective September 1st, 2015.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Are we replacing
Discussion. Alan?
I'm sorry.
Are we replacing,
We're currently looking at a shared service with BOCES. I'm reviewing the schedules, the phys ed schedules with the building principals and the department chair for physical education, Dean Pope, and we're looking at a shared service with BOCES and looking at what level that need will be in order to continue our program.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 6-0. School monitor.
It is recommended that the resignation of Karen White from the position of school monitor be accepted with deep regret, effective September 8, 2015.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Carries 6-0. 2, appointments, special education teacher.
It is recommended that Nicole Fiducia is hereby appointed on probation to the special subject tenure area of special education. The service shall begin on September 1st, 2015, and end on August 31st, 2019. The appointee is certified permanent in special education.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 6-0. Teacher assistant.
It is recommended that Michael Winkler is hereby appointed on probation to the tenure area of teacher assistant. The service shall begin on September 1st, 2015, and end on August 31st, 2018. The appointee is certified initial in students with disabilities 1 through 6 in music.
Discussion?
Just to say, he's a nice guy. He's worked with Eddie. He's good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? That's 6-0. Advisors.
It is recommended that the list of advisors for the 2015-16 school year be approved as presented by the senior high, junior high, and elementary principals.
Move.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, just it looked like most of the to be decided had to do with the fall musical and production. Are a lot of these one person, or are they?
We're currently working on that right now, Kevin. We're gonna have those recommendations for the September 8th board meeting. The recommendations for those positions of advisors that are not filled, we'll have those at the next meeting.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All approved? Nays? Abstained? 6-0. Substitute teacher list.
It is recommended that the following be appointed to the per diem substitute teacher list. Marina Larrabee, uncertified.
Second.
Discussion?
I just have a question. Sorry. I'm not sure to direct it, because that's the nature of my question. I know that the substitute teachers go apply through the individual principals. To whom do the teacher assistants substitutes apply? To Mary, to you, or to instructional? Or to the principals, or to?
The principal's interview.
Okay,
Okay,
so.
let's clarify, teacher assistants are certified teachers, and district.
Yes.
And there's teacher aide. Sometimes those titles get interchanged. If it's a teacher aide, it's the Mayor's department. If it's a teacher assistant who has professional license,
Oh, okay.
it goes through the certified.
And then when we approved, uncertified teacher substitutes, was that inclusive of the teacher assistant uncertified, or they have to be uncertified to substitute?
How do you handle uncertified teacher assistants?
The board never made a decision about the teacher assistants being uncertified, so we've always required the certificate.
Certificate.
At least the certificate. Most times with our teacher assistants, they will be certified teachers that apply.
Okay.
But if not, they are required to have a certification as a teacher assistant.
Okay, someone brought that up in conversation today, and I did not know the answer.
Well, is there a shortage of certified teacher assistants? Because that's why we made the change for substitute.
Yeah.
Because there was a
I
shortage.
don't think we had the same issue with teacher assistants that we experienced with our per diem substitutes. And I really, in a complimentary manner, just want to say that I've heard good feedback from the principals of, having the ability to hire the uncertified substitute teachers, because many of them have actually completed their teaching requirements, they're just awaiting certification.
Great.
And we don't have any teacher assistants as well, not the same amount of teachers.
It wasn't, I just didn't know.
But there's two pathways for teacher assistants. You're either a certified teacher or there's another test.
There's like a teacher
requirement.
assistant
License,
certification.
which is an easy test, teacher certificate. But they get interchanged and sometimes people take a teacher aid, teacher assistant. So
Oh, okay, now, something else just made sense to me. Okay, thank you.
My only question with Ms. Larrabee is, she's got a master's of arts in education, you know, for elementary. It looks like she's a special education teacher, as well as a long-term substitute teacher. I mean, after all this time, she's still uncertified?
Right, she may either have, her certification may lapse, and I believe she's a good example of somebody that's waiting certification. And I believe what her story is, that she moved back here from another state and was looking into the reciprocity from where she moved from to New York State.
Okay.
And she's awaiting
That makes sense.
the certification.
That makes sense.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Passes 6-0. Coaches.
It is recommended that the following coaches be appointed for the fall 2015 sports season. Football, Salvatore Licari, assistant varsity. Vito Siniscali, assistant varsity. Vincent Servadio, assistant JV. Girls swimming, Tara Rue, varsity diving. Anna Warner, assistant modified swim. Cross country, Bob Bird, unpaid volunteer varsity. Margaret Kemp, head modified. Dennis Jones, assistant modified. And field hockey, Alice Carvati, head modified.
Motion?
Move.
Second.
Discussion?
Just a minor typo, it's spelled correctly, Vincent Servadio. There's only one R, no, not two Rs. It's spelled correctly on the coaches list, but not on the agenda.
Oh, sort of.
Yeah, no second on it.
That's 4 minutes, and we're
Any other discussion?
I just have a question. Of the, how many of these coaches are new to us and how many of them are, sorry, to put you on the spot? Some of the names I recognize, like I've seen them on camera.
Yeah, I'd say, well, some
They don't
Some
need to
are,
sit
some
down.
have been here and haven't been, some have been in, the first 3, 2 of them are new. One is returning, so he's kind of new, he's been a volunteer only, the middle one. The swimming are new, not new to the sport, or one of them's physical education certified, and new to us. The volunteer for cross-country obviously isn't new, but the 2 for the modified are new, and the field hockey is returning.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Passes 6-0. F, school monitors.
It is recommended that John Winter be appointed to the position of school monitor effective September 8, 2015.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? Passes 6-0.
It is recommended that Kim Shaheen be appointed to the position of school monitor effective September 8, 2015.
Move.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? Passes 6-0. Bus driver.
It is recommended that Robert Gaffney be appointed to the position of bus driver effective September 8, 2015. Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? Passes 6-0. Night watch person substitute cleaner.
It is recommended that George Moorhead be appointed to the positions of night watch person and substitute cleaner effective August 18, 2015, pending satisfactory clearance from employment by the State Education Department.
Discussion?
I don't know if I would do that. So,
You'll see a reindeer?
Professional stuff.
She's aware of that.
Okay. All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? Passes 6-0. 7-3, classifications.
It is recommended that Chris Halpin be reclassified from the position of cleaner nights to the position of cleaner nights pool, effective August 18, 2015.
Second.
Discussion? They clean the pool every night. They have to.
Awards on the heat, $1
Any other discussion?
It just doesn't seem like that's a full-time job.
It does other things. Just because you don't sign
All in
this
favor?
in addition to the other areas, when you have to have a special service.
Opposed?
Presentation for you.
Abstained?
Thanks,
6-0.
Bill.
Going on a tour after.
B,
Nothing that pool, you want. It is recommended that Andrew Crumbach be reclassified from the position of part-time cleaner weekends to the position of cleaner nights, effective August 18, 2015.
discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? Passes 6-0. B, Committee on Preschool Special Education.
The recommendations from the Committee on Preschool Special Education meetings of July 7th, 2015 and August 6th, 2015 are presented for approval.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? Passes 6-0. Committee on Special Education.
The recommendation from the Committee on Special Education's meetings of August 4th, 2015 and August 11th, 2015 are presented for approval.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Abstain.
Opposed? Abstained? 1 abstention. 5-0. D, Adoption of Tax Warrant.
It is recommended that the tax warrant for the 2015-2016 school year be adopted.
Moved. Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Nay.
Oh.
No.
Opposed? 1 abstained? 5-1-0. Resolution to approve OHM BOCES contract for services during the 2015-16 school year.
Do we have to sign this?
Yes, I have the original.
You got the original?
It is recommended that the OHM BOCES contract for services for the 2015-2016 school year be approved.
Move.
Second.
Discussion?
Any changes, Mary?
There are additional services, but things that we have talked about throughout the budget process.
No increases other than no?
Any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? Passes 6-0.
I'll sign down there.
F, Treasurer's Report.
It is recommended that the June 30, 2015 Treasurer's Report be accepted. Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? Passes 6-0. New business, G, resolution approving amendment to agreement for Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction.
It's recommended that an amendment to the agreement for the Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction be approved.
Move.
Second.
Discussion?
Yep, just for my personal benefit on what this actually does, I want to be clear on my end. It represents a 3.25% increase in salary.
That's correct.
This includes a 4% per year retirement benefit of 403B, beginning at 48 years of age or 10 years of service, whichever comes first.
That is correct.
Okay, with continued annuity, any changes in the annuity that we're offering?
It's 4%, just as you may.
Okay, all right. Is there any other changes there? Still New York State retirement, medical, other stipends, 95% of health insurance
That's an
on?
amendment to the original agreement that's on
Okay,
file.
okay,
Citing those two items that you mentioned.
okay, guys, I've, you know, and this is not a surprise, I believe that this contract combines the benefits of a public employee and a private employee to the tune where both sectors are represented, and for that reason, I'm gonna be voting no.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstained? 5-1-0. H, resolution approving agreement for Assistant Superintendent for Business Affairs.
It is recommended that a 3-year agreement for the Assistant Superintendent for Business Affairs be approved.
Moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, just, everything that I discussed regarding Mr. Hyde is identical with this contract, 3.25.
Including a new agreement that has a date of July 1, 2015 to June 30, 2018.
3-year. For the same reason, both sectors represented into one contract, I'm against it.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 5-1-0. Still new business, I, surplus items for disposal.
It is recommended that the list of fitness room equipment be declared as surplus items for disposal as per the request of the athletic department. Second.
Discussion?
You taking away Levatino Stairmaster 4000?
Not safe.
That's all right.
Head injury. I'll probably be coming back to, Mr. Noel and I've had a conversation. I anticipate some equipment from Planet Fitness coming our way, so we're getting rid of some unsafe cardio, but I'll be getting some new cardio. And,
Truly about time, John, thank you.
you know, we look at it as addition by subtraction, because that facility will now be used for physical education stations as well.
Just FYI, the Stairmaster 4000 has a weld that I put on it. That's how bad it is.
So it's definitely not safe.
So it's definitely.
Is this going to eBay or someplace, or what do you do?
Recommend for scrap, really, Mr. Petrowski, the equipment is unsafe. It was cluttered. Even the couple of benches that I thought we might be able to do something with ended up being bent. So I would be concerned to give it to somebody and then have them get injured on it. Just assume we get rid of it for scrap.
It's really bad.
Any other discussion?
Just that, that's a be off of Dan Cole on the letter, it's a stamp copy.
He deserved
Unless
it.
there's another part.
He deserved it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 6-0 passes.
Ed would like the stamp list.
Any other business? Legislative update and ongoing board strategy. Anyone?
Well, just, I think there's a lot going on in the latest statement. It's sort of following, but I don't think any clarification. The new secretary saying that saying that there will be quote unquote consequences for districts with opt-outs. I would find was really interesting, but.
People are coming in. This year, right?
Are we still on schedule for the original schedule for the APPR review and approvals and all that?
Yeah, from what I shared from before, with October 1st being the deadline for submission.
Okay.
And if we don't, if we anticipate we're not going to meet that deadline, we will have the, ability to apply for the hardship waiver.
Okay, okay, I mean, have we started discussions with the teachers
We
union?
requested to meet with them.
Great.
They have demonstrated apply for the hardship that we're requesting to meet. We had not done.
Okay, yep, thanks.
Any other new business, other business?
Yes, I have one item for executive session pertaining to the employment history of a particular person.
2 minutes? Motion to go into executive session? Okay, 2 minutes? We're gonna meet in the back room.
Brian.
Seriously.
Okay,
Love a God.
we have executive session at 5:59, 6:05. Need a motion to come back to open session.
Motion to adjourn, unless you had something you want to.
We have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Stacy, and this, but not for the meeting, but just FYI, scheduling a September 8th meeting, there's that walkthrough, okay, at 5:45, and we got a PGT meeting at 5.
Which building's the walk through, this one? This campus?
Yeah, Oxford Road, bus garage, yeah.